Hey, what's up, miners? Ooh. So, got a little bit of watt work today. So I'm gonna pull these 2 gigabytes down. They're still sitting at 4K, so we're gonna put those on a summer tune. I'm so bad with ASICs, but I won that a long time ago. Shout out to the mining cabinet, cool cat. But I think it has too much dust in that little SIA box. SC2? I don't know, but I want to get a watt meter on it and see, where is that thing? Here we are. Yeah, I want to get a watt meter on it and see, that's what I'm looking for. See what it does. So, see if that comes down after we clean it. So it looks like the temperature is 65. And then our average is 927. So I'm gonna undo these gigabytes. They're both on the same power supply, so we'll turn those off for a little bit. I did hit a Monero block recently. That does put me over 10 Monero blocks now, and my average is right at 60% for all of those collectively. So had a pretty good run with that. I've been playing with that since November. One thing that is important, so I use this siamining.com pool, and May 1st, for anyone else out there that's a knucklehead like me, still using a Sia miner, you know, May 1st, that's a wrap. So, heads up on that. So, but we'll get these off. They're currently on a power meter, so we'll steal that power meter, plug that little guy in, see what it's doing watt wise, and then we'll clean that out with some air and see what happens to our watts and our temperatures and our hash rates. So I still have not hooked up the KSO Pro. We've got to get all these wires sorted out, so between the 120 volt and the LAN. So I still haven't converted over to the 16 port switch that I installed back there, so that's coming up soon too. So I have had to take a lot of time off recently, unexpectedly, but hopefully that's gonna be better soon. So let's see, what's the deal? You knew where you came. Alright. Okay, so I pulled it over here. Let's let it run for about 10 minutes. Just kind of see. So 222, easy enough to remember. And we'll go clean that thing out. Okay, let's see if we can get the money shot here. Maybe. Oh, it's not looking good. That's pretty gross. A little embarrassed. Alright, here we go. Yeah, that seemed like a lot. That seemed like a lot. Let's do this one. Oh my gosh. Oh no. What is that? Oh, it's so gross. It's so gross. Okay, we'll see if we can get this one. Yeah, okay. Well, the camera work is what it is. But that is so nasty. So nasty. One more time. Okay. Oh. 3 watts. Three watts. Let's take a look. Well, that's not happening. Interesting. There we go. 4. So what, half a degree? I don't know, that might just be anomalous. Yeah, so I don't think a really big difference, other than obviously the fans aren't probably spinning as much, so 3 watts, not a big deal. I guess if you had 100 of those, you know, it'd be 300 watts. I don't know. That's something. So, we'll see. I'll check back on the hash rate after some time. So, but anyways, better than when we started. That camera does not like white screens. All right. Well, enough with the silly China boxes. Let's do some real mining stuff. Okay. Well, this may turn into a cleaning video. And I went to go disconnect these two 7900s. I noticed Panda was also living in this one. So let's go ahead and dust these off too. Let's see how gross this looks. It looks really gross. Here we go. That's a lot. Hey, it's a little better. Get these rams. Bippity boo. Thank you. And do gigabyte number 2. Hello. Let's see if we can get into there. Oh, we can. That's a good angle. Alright. Here we go. I could taste that one. Yuck. Okay, well, let's go turn these down. Save those watts. Okay, so back inside with less dust. I did go ahead and start a new worksheet. I'm not going to do a super in-depth tune, but I'm just going to get it ready for summer. And then we'll do the same with, oh, what is that silly one? The other motherboard. The gaming Wi-Fi Plus, which does not have voltage control. Boo! So, let's try, but those are the stats where we started out. So we're on XMP1, I think that's, let's see, I think it has high bandwidth memory. 4K, 4 gigahertz, and I believe that's set at 0.85, but we are down, so that is just Expo timings, so nothing crazy there. Yeah, so the memory controller is in 1-to-1 with the RAM, and then F-Clock, Infinity Fabric at 2K. I don't think any other tuning is done at the moment, because that was for heat, so I didn't pull down VDD or SoC or iGPU, any of that stuff. So those are all easy places to grab watts. Chipset, I don't know if I mentioned that, but so we'll see. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the BIOS completely and just do a quick start over, and in the essence of being useful, I'll try not to do too in-depth of a tune, and just go through some basics and see what we can squeeze out of it. So, because that 138 efficiency is, aside from heat, that makes me kind of go. So, definitely not the 180 that we had. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna do a bunch of numbers, and see you in a bit. Alright, so with a little bit of cheating, this is a Aorus tuning sheet for a 7900 non-X from a little while back. So I'm going to take my 3.6 here, and I know that I've ran 0.8 in the past without X and P. I'm going to leave that at 0.81, so I am here in the Aorus BIOS. So I'm on the advanced under tweaker. I'm at 36. That would give us 3.6 gigahertz. Let's see, I have PBO disabled. That's for the iGPU there, so I'm not too worried about that. I did go ahead and turn PBO off in that sub menu as well. For now, I have XMP disabled. I'm just gonna check, get some numbers. So that will put us at the 4800 mega transfer. We are locked, U clock, M clock. I've left F clock alone. Don't have any business in there. Oh, actually, I do want to show. So SPD info. This is one area you can get your. That's an unpopulated stick. There's a populated stick. So you can see what our Expo settings are going to be. So you got your mega transfers, some of the voltages here, and then your primary timings here. So that is a nice resource coming in. I did push that up to 0.1. I don't think I got into here. No, I did not. So that is that. I think I disabled. Yeah, and so I disabled that. That should be everything. Yeah. So we'll see what that does. Hopefully we'll get a boot and get some stats. Don't you freeze up on me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, well, it didn't freeze up. It was just memory training, so that is where we kind of ended up. So we've got our line there, and now we'll try Expo 2, which will be the 5600 at 1.2 volts. Here's the results from that. So those are the non-Expo, Expo 2, which is 1.2 volts, and then the Expo 1, which is with the 6,000 mega transfer. I can't remember the voltage. I don't know, but anyways, more watts each go up. So the one with the stars, if you can see through this poor camera work, is kind of what I'm going to use as a base. So before I move on and start pulling down crazy numbers, so that's, if you just want to stop there, boom, that's not bad. You're close to the X5, no big deal. Easy setup. So I do want to try this one though, just for whatever. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I wanted to try a power limit with a negative PBO offset. By power limit, I'm meaning eco mode. Yeah, and core performance boost disabled. So that should be interesting. So and to do that, I pulled off my voltage lock, I pulled off the frequency lock. I went ahead and put PBO back on because can't really do an offset with that off, and then all that's within PBO. So, and that's a negative 45, which works on most of my 7900s. That's usually my go-to, so we'll see. I have not done that on this board, so... Oh, we're already there. Good gravy. So we'll see what that does. If it's quick, I don't think it has to memory relearn, so... And then I think we already went through earlier, that's with everything peripheral wise, however that works, is turned off. So SATA ports, I didn't go into like turning off individual USB ports and all that, so I'm not really going for any like personal records or anything here, so just trying to get these down to about 70-80 watts a piece, which is really nice for the summertime. So keep a little stress off the AC. And so this is doing a long boot, which I'll probably cut this. I don't know. We'll give it a 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we'll stitch it. Later, y'all. So here's some results. It's kind of interesting, this PBO with just a few settings, without PBO Enhance. You'll notice those are both the same. You can get 140 just by 65 watt eco. I ended up at negative 35 on this board for the negative voltage curve offset. High bandwidth memory enabled. And so that's where that kind of landed. So one last thing I want to do is run that those same settings with Expo 1. So those are on Expo 2, which is 5600 mega transfers, I think at 1.2 volts. And we'll just see if the 6000 Expo 1 does any better. But it seems to like to hang around that 117, and it'll just kind of vary from there. So here is a better list. I did have to clear BIOS again, so I am trying something new here, this nitro mode. I don't know, not familiar. We'll see what happens. But that's turning everything off, pulling everything to Gen 1, all the lights off, the normal things, AC power on. But yeah, that's the settings we're using here, and we'll see what it does. I did change the memory, so it's probably gonna learn. Yeah, we'll give it a second, but I don't want to waste your time. I was trying to save a video stitch, but that's okay. So that didn't get us very much doing the XMP, or Expo 1 rather, excuse me. So that's down here. That is not the right math. I didn't transfer that over. We're doing it live. Oh, this is hard to do through a camera. That came out to 13,809. So a rather negligible difference. Probably not much to speak of, but it does exist. So I will, I would say that if you're looking for an easy tune, you've got a locked BIOS, something like that, that's pretty reasonable for if you're not running into heat issues, got a decent cooler, stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna get nasty with this one and do a locked tune, and see what we can do with this Expo 2. See what happens. Alright, well, you'll have to excuse me. This section might be through yawns. It's been a long day. So where did we leave off? We left off here. And so that's our hash rate, that's our efficiency. You can see our watts at the wall. So all of our core voltages did stay the same. And We did stay on Expo 2, which is the 1.2 volts. I was a little disappointed, so when I do enable Expo, I noticed on this Aorus, unless I'm missing something, that does lock in the VDD for the DDR, unfortunately. So it's stuck at 1.2. I really wanted to play with that, watt-wise, so... anyways, before I get too rambly, this is a succession of different voltages so that you can see how each one actually does affect. You can see these last three were not large changes, these last two rather, excuse me. I think this was 0.95, maybe this was 0.75 or something. So these were very small changes, and they actually did not make any difference at the wall, like none whatsoever. So I did go ahead and plug some of those into BIOS along with some other voltages. So another voltage I was not able to find was the chipset, unfortunately, which is, well, very unfortunate, because when I can pull the chipset to Gen 1 and let that go while I ramble. Yeah, so I'm a little disappointed I don't have chipset access. So I think maybe I've missed it. It is rather late, so but I can usually get a watt or two by pulling the chipset down to Gen 1 and then actually pulling the voltages down. So yeah, so without having chipset access voltage and without having the actual VDD access on the RAM, that will inhibit us some, but that's okay. And one more whitewashed poor camera shot. So this was to get a little more voltage with similar efficiency. So that does put us into the 14.4 kilohash range. So previous testing with no XMP enabled whatsoever and pulling these voltages, you can get in the 170 hash per watt range here. So what, you can get around 13 kilohash at 75 watts. So I wanted to see, you know, if that would help us out some. So TBD. Okay. Well, I'm actually running out of space, so that is 86.7 watts. Let's get that typed in for camera work. My apologies. Okay, so we got 86.7 watts. We didn't lose any hash rate, so that is very nice. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's okay. That's okay. 166. So that's all of the same items that are fuzzy. There we go. From before, so those were all added to BIOS with the additional ones. And so like I said before, I can do 172 on here kind of easily without even doing any of these additional ones, but that's at 13 kilohash. So this lets us get close to 170 at 14.4 kilohash, so I do like that. And there's kind of a pausable moment if you want to do that. Now with CPU tuning, you can't copy these. These are minimums. You have to push each one to minimum to crash, and then, you know, there's a lot of variables. I know the term silicon lottery gets thrown out, but it's not. It's, you know, the CPU is not a monolithic thing. There's little portions of it. There's 2 dies in this one, 2 CCDs. Inside of the die, you know, there's IOs, and it's rather intricate. So, anyways, that's 166 hash per watt and 14 kilohash. So we're improving a little bit, and we're under 90 watts, which is nice for the Texas summer. So some drawbacks, some things I wish I could do better. I wish I had voltage control on the chipset, and I wish Expo didn't lock my RAM voltage. I think I could grab another watt or two, trying to pull that from 1.2 down to 1.15 or something. So but yeah, that's a rambly cleaning. So that did get cleaned. I will do the, where'd it go? Too many CPUs. We'll do the gaming Wi-Fi, so that is regulated to curve tuning. I'll try that again for efficiency. It did have a nice 4K tune, but I want to bring those watts down as well. So, and good God, so I have the test bench, and then I'm going to turn that 10850 into my personal. So we'll get all that going. GPUs, I've just been hanging out on Ergo semi-successfully last go, a little high. That's okay. I've got Novo as a secondary algo compensating. So I did hit an exablock. It was an uncle, I can't remember, orphan, I don't remember what they do, but it was I hit a bad block. I did a bad, so that's okay. Still got some medical stuff going on with the family, so I have not been able to switch like I want to, but we'll keep on going. So that is an exceptionally long rambly video, but we did gain 1.4 kilohash and still maintain basically the same efficiency, which is very good. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap this up. So I do wish you the best, happy hashing, and yeah, mining fan.